guys, it's Black Slice coming at you guys today with my very first Kingdom Hearts discussion. If you can't tell by the tone of my voice, I'm actually really excited about this. Anyways, this video is actually going to be kind of long because, well, I recorded this about a week ago, and that took me around 10 minutes to get less than halfway through. So I decided, instead of me messing up and restarting from the beginning and going to the end, let me record it in parts, so then it takes a little bit. So then if I mess up, I can just go back. Alright, I'll get this up as soon as possible, probably Monday, Tuesday morning, but until then I'll post another gameplay video. But by then you guys would have gotten the video. You guys would have gotten the video and you guys would have not needed this. Anyways, the discussion today is going to be about why I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was never actually completed. And the big kicker here is that it wasn't completed on purpose. But I know what you guys are thinking. Black Slice. We know that Kingdom Hearts 3 was not completed. Nomura told us that he was going to give us more DLC. But the thing is, I think when we were all thinking DLC, or at least in my opinion, when I was thinking DLC, I thought this is going to be some post-game content. It's not going to be anything that I need to enjoy the experience of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, I was thinking maybe some Cavern of Remembrance, maybe some extra Keyblades, something really small. But then there's a lot in Kingdom Hearts 3 that is actually not clear, and it needs to be cleared up. And apparently that's what this DLC is going to do. In my opinion, you should not need to add any DLC to explain anything. The game should have been clear story-wise the first time around, but I'm fine with it. The point of the DLC is to milk the game for what it's worth, and the game is worth a lot considering its publicity with Disney and Square Enix itself. Kingdom Hearts 2 is actually just a big name in the world. Anyways, now that I got that out, I just wanted to, let me just get some small details in. When we talk about the big Aqua reveal or the big Roxas reveal, I remember that there was an interview where Nomura was asked, "Don't you think you're revealing a little bit too much?" Nomura goes on and says, "No, there's actually a lot more secrets here in the game. Don't worry about it." And if it's not clear, I'm talking about the trailers before the game actually came out. But the thing is, in my opinion, after playing through the game the first time and looking at all of the trailers, I don't think a single detail was missed. Well, the Disney World, we obviously knew what was going to happen, but story-wise, I feel like you could piece together everything that was going to happen in the story. Personally, I did. I knew that we were gonna play as Aqua. I knew that we were gonna play as Riku, and these weren't even told to us explicitly. Based on the trailers, I just felt like it was a little bit clear that those characters were gonna be the playable characters, especially because they were big characters in previous games. Anyways, I also did feel really stupid though, because recently there was an orchestra trailer where Nomura actually showed, I'm gonna get to that a little bit later, but where Nomura actually showed us a little bit of what's gonna happen in the Remind DLC. And when I saw that trailer, I realized maybe Nomura didn't reveal a little bit too much. Maybe there is hidden secrets. And here are some things that I believe confirm my suspicion. Alright, so first of all, let's talk about the Remind DLC. So when we see Xigbar in Mount Olympus the first time, he comes in and then he patronizes Sora in the game. He later on appears again where he's watching Maleficent and Pete search for the black box, at which point he begins to say, "May your heart be your guiding key." But before he finishes the sentence, he's cut off abruptly by the scene just ending. If you listen carefully before the scene ends, you get to hear a dark corridor opening. And, you know, for me initially, I thought this was Xigbar just opening a dark corridor for himself. And I thought if they had shown what happened here, it might have been obvious that Xigbar is Lucio. I decided not to think anything more of it, so I just kind of threw the scene away. After the end of the orchestra trailer, I actually feel kind of stupid for thinking that, because they revealed what actually happened. This is what I think the sequence is. Xigbar begins to say, "May your heart be your guiding key," but then Luxord appears and throws a card at him. Xigbar catches the card because Kingdom Hearts, and then they start talking to each other. And what we see in the trailer is that line of dialogue starts between them, which is actually really short. I'm gonna summarize it for you guys. Luxord says, "Who are you?" And then Zigbert says, "No, no, no, wait, who are you?" And then Luxord is like, "You know what? Because he said that, I'm just gonna leave. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I gotta do." So these are one of the scenes that made me think maybe they had a lot planned out for Kingdom Hearts 3 before the game was released, but because of this hype that was generated by the game, they had to release the game, otherwise they would lose the giant audience they had. Now, in my opinion, the game had a lot that was missing. And spoiler for my next video, it's gonna be about why Kingdom Hearts 3 was disappointing. But anyways, back to the topic of this video, I think the DLC is gonna give us a lot more about the game that wasn't clear at first. So we wanted to be clear about Naminé's return. How did she return when Kairi wasn't there? Xion, how do people start remembering her? Maybe that's why they call it Remind. Xion wanted to remember. I'm sorry. Anyways, then there's Sora's fate. That wasn't 100% clear. I actually do like what GamerJoint said when he said Sora dies, goes to the world ends with you, and the reason that they didn't show us the palm of his right hand or the palm of his left hand, I forgot, is because he has a counter there. But that's a different video for the future. I need to play or watch The World Ends With You, whatever you do for that game. And then also another thing that needs to be cleared out is Zigbert's storyline. I think this DLC will make everything clear, but hopefully they give us a 1-to-1 gameplay to cutscene ratio. It wasn't that even before. I would go as far as to call it a 1-to-35 gameplay to cutscene ratio, maybe a little bit higher, leading more towards the cutscenes. So the next thing that I want to talk about is something that got all the big Kingdom Hearts YouTubers thinking and all the fans thinking, and that will be the glitches that could be accomplished with Wreck-It Ralph. Now, I personally haven't tried any of them. It takes a lot of skill to do it, so I'm first of all thankful for everyone that found it. That takes more skill, finding it, and then thankful for everyone that did them. I'll link them below in the description. Now, the two places that you can do these glitches are Scala and Kylam in the Key of the Graveyard. In Scala, you can use Wreck-It Ralph to get outside of the boundaries, but the thing is, when you go outside of the boundaries, you get to this space where you get to see these parkour walls, and you can climb these walls. It makes us think, if we had no plan to use that space, there would be no need for the wall. So it makes you think that the DLC would add an extra space to at least Scala and Kylam. And the other place is the Key of the Graveyard. You can use Ralph to climb outside of the boundaries where you fight the Dark Inferno, or people know him most as is probably the secret boss. You can go outside of that area and you can actually walk on solid ground. This also makes you think that you might get to see more, or you might actually get to do something in these areas. That something would be maybe you get to use the Lingering Will to fight Terranort, or maybe you get to do some other battles that happen in these spaces. So I think that there's actually more that's coming in this DLC, and that more that they had planned out already, that they just couldn't complete and just give it to us in the game. So with everything that I've said so far about the Zigbert cutscenes and the glitches you could accomplish with Wreck-It Ralph, it makes me think that the Disney and Pixar worlds, those worlds are mostly done. The only thing that they could be missing is cutscenes that could further progress the actual Kingdom Hearts game. And by that I mean the Kingdom Hearts Darkseeker saga. It might elaborate more about this. And there's also the Kingdom Hearts, the new saga that's coming up, based off of Union Cross with the Foretellers. Maybe we get more about that. So another thing that I wanted to talk about was the fact that this game is actually missing some parts. If you remember back in the second trailer of Kingdom Hearts, they gave us a scene where we were able to explore Yen Sid's tower. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we once explored Yen Sid's tower in Kingdom Hearts 3. And if that's the case, Kingdom Hearts 3 might be giving us more in the Kingdom Hearts original worlds. They might be giving us Yen Sid's tower, they might be giving us the ability to explore Scala and the Key of the Graveyard a little bit more, and they could be adding worlds that we were expecting originally, such as the Destiny Islands, the Dark Realm, and I don't. Oh, Radiant Garden, of course. Now my thought for these worlds, maybe in Radiant Garden we get to use Riku with Mickey in the party. In the Dark Realm, we get to use Aqua. And I know that she didn't have her Keyblade, but that would be awesome if you could use Aqua without her Keyblade. She's actually going around the Realm of Darkness punching Heartless. Which is stupid because I don't think you can kill Heartless with your fists. But that would be pretty cool, the first character in Kingdom Hearts that fights without a Keyblade. That'd be awesome. And, you know, she was actually the better of the Wayfinder trio when it comes to casting spells. She could use magic better than everyone else, and she's probably balanced in terms of power and speed compared to Terra, who's mostly power, and Ven, who's mostly speed. So it would be really cool to actually use these characters. And again, another playable character could be the Lingering Will. Imagine using the Lingering Will to fight Terranord. I think that'd be a pretty sick battle to go through. And then maybe we get more cutscenes between Lingering Will and Naminé, so then we know how Naminé communicated with him. Because to me, that's not 100% clear. They have some connection, so she's able to telepathically talk to them. And of course, we know that they have some connection based off of the Orchestra tour, where they had the dialogue going on between the two of them. But I think that we need to elaborate more of that in the game, how Naminé, after everyone died the first time, was able to talk to him and get him to save everyone. That'd be really nice. And with that, I think I have said everything I need to say about this topic, why Kingdom Hearts 3 was never actually complete. The fanbase had this growing need to play Kingdom Hearts 3, so Square Enix had to release the game soon, so then they didn't lose any of the hype that had generated from the multiple trailers that have been releasing. Now, I don't want to say the game was rushed. I don't know if it was rushed or not. But I think that they had to make a decision, and at the end of the day, the decision was to release the game with some missing scenes, such as the Zigbar cutscene, and the glitches that we were able to accomplish. Maybe they just left some open spaces where we were able to actually go to these areas in the world. Now, in the game, like I said, we saw some worlds that were missing. Hopefully, the Remind trailer gives us these worlds, and maybe the worlds that we saw in the game that we weren't actually able to explore, hopefully we get to explore these. I think Kingdom Hearts Remind is going to give us more details, and it's going to give us more worlds at the end of the day. We will find out what happened with Naminé, what happened with Xion, what happened with Sora at the end of the game, and we might get more details on Xehanort. Because honestly, I don't feel like we know everything that why he did everything that he did at the end of the day, and why Xehanort was willing to do all of this and then regrets it all at the end of the day. On that note, this is Black Eyes signing out. I'll get some more Critical Mode gameplay out as soon as possible. Alright, see you. There was a wink there.